What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode. This is day 2 of the project. Welcome back to the Bros podcast. Today we have some more events for you guys about the nobility, the second estate of France.
I just love my dog.
The writing of the Declaration of the Rights of Man. The Declaration of the Rights of Man was a fundamental document from the French Revolution adopted in around the 1780s, late 1780s. How the Second Estate, the nobility, saw this, it was really undetermined of their inherited privileges and their special status.
So they really didn't gain anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
So they just stayed in the middle.
Yeah, like
Nothing happened. All right.
What do you think about the Great Fear, though?
Well, the Great Fear was just maybe like a shock. Like, remember back in 2020 when the public was in shock and that they had fear. They were panicking and they were buying the stock out of toilet paper and supplies and everything. Well, this is more of like it, but it was just back in time, and it was during the French Revolution, which maybe connects to COVID, but it really doesn't have to do anything with COVID-19.
So what you're saying is the Great Fear is literally the Great Fear?
Yep. It literally means the Great Fear, because the public was really scared about the French Revolution and how they were going to start attacking and everything. So it was just the panic overall.
Okay, food shortages. The French Revolution's food shortage was really started from multiple bad harvests in the 1780s due to severe weathers. A growing population that outspaced food supply, and just uneven growing.
Yeah, as the temperatures and the weather
just
made the food go out, and then the growing population.
Yeah, like everything.
You're gonna have more people, but less food to divide it.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. The nobility saw it, like they contribute to the general unrest that threatened their stability.
Mm-hmm.
So they can help. What about the storming of the palace?
So the storming of the palace at Versailles, the storming of the palace at Versailles refers to the Women's March on Versailles in October 1789. It was a pivotal event in the French Revolution where thousands of Parisian women marched to Versailles, stormed the palace, and forced King Louis and Queen Marie Antoinette to return to Paris, ending the reign from their opulent palace and marking a significant shift of power. As for the nobility, it was an intimidating confrontation, since it was a lot of women that came together to storm the palace, and it really showed a loss of authority, since they made the queen and the king resign their place, which just completely takes over. It didn't show anything that they stood there and fought.
So what you're saying is they kind of lost their power, basically?
Yeah, they really did, yeah, because they had to resign.
The National Assembly, too, in the French Revolution, most commonly refers to the revolutionary body formed in late 1780s by the Third Estate, which sought to establish a constitutional monarchy. The Second Estate, the nobility, they had an increasing marginalization and loss of their influence during this.
So the loss of influence comes from that the Third Estate made it, and instead of the Second Estate, so they were more towards the Third Estate instead of the Second.
Yes, that is what I'm believing. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What about the Reign of Terror?
Well, the Reign of Terror, it was a 10-month period, a very violent 10-month period that went on from September 1793 to July 1794. It was this event occurred during the French Revolution, marked by mass arrests, political purges, and thousands of executions by guillotine. The Second Estate, what happened is they were really full of fear against that, because there was a lot of people getting killed and everything. They were being persecuted, and mass executions on their class, which means most of the people in their class were being killed. Where they were just keep being killed and killed and killed.
That's interesting. Okay, so the creation of the new French Republic. The new French Republic was a series of political and social changes, beginning with the Third Estate declaring themselves as like the highest, the National Assembly basically, to draft the constitutional and culminating in France's transformation from an absolute monarchy to republic. The Second Estate nobility, the new republic was seen as an end to the nobility being a privileged class in France, because people chose elected officials to represent their interests in government.
Córtale.
Acción.
Okay, so just continuing what he said. After that, Napoleon takes power during his time. So, from Napoleon seized power in France through the coup of 18 Brumaire on November 9th, 1799, overthrowing a directory and establishing a military dictatorship under the new consulate, where he quickly became the most powerful figure. So the Second Estate, they went slow and cautious because Napoleon provided them with an opportunity to rebuild their influence that they had lost from the Third Estate building the National Assembly. And they really just had to accept his authority because he had helped them out with everything that they needed.
So the Napoleonic Code established. The code was also known as the Civil Code of 1804. It was established in 1804 in France by Napoleon to replace the fragmented legal system with a simple, unified code of law. So the Napoleonic Code established. This code was also known as the Civil Code of 1804. It was established in 1804 in France by Napoleon. It was made to replace the fragmented legal system with a simple, unified code of law. What are you doing? So the Napoleonic Code established. This code was also known as the Civil Code of 1804. It was established in March 1804 in France by Napoleon. It was made to replace the fragmented legal system with a simple, unified code of law. The Second Estate nobility really saw this, like the code ended with a majority of the nobility privileges, but benefited them by regaining their influence through accumulating wealth rather than legal privileges. So really much of a benefit towards them.
Yeah, because as I had said, that Napoleon had let them gain their influence back after they had lost everything.
So he really came as a beneficial towards them.
So now moving on to the Congress of Vienna. This Congress was a diplomatic conference where the European powers redrew the map of Europe and restored a stability after the Napoleonic Wars. Since Napoleon had invaded most of the Europe, he had taken a lot of land from Europe. It was mostly of France. It wasn't really Europe now. It was almost everything France until they ended by Russia. Right when Napoleon tried to invade Russia, Russia just burned everything down as Napoleon's men had nothing to survive off, and it was really rebuilt Europe after that. Because if it didn't really happen, and Napoleon had taken over Russia, we really wouldn't have Europe what it is right now.
So how did the Second Estate nobility see this event?
So the goal of the whole Congress was to rebalance the power and restore Europe as it was. But it marked the ending of the nobility's exile and the restoration of their social and political control, as they had to spread out again and France was back to normal small country. So yeah, this will be it for today's episode, and we'll be back tomorrow. See you guys.